Welcome to Devicebook for Contractors, your tool for creating smart homes for your clients. In this video, we'll go over what it takes to use Devicebook for Contractors to design and set up a new smart home for your client. If you haven't already set up your smart home business, you should do that first in Showroom. Also, before working on a real job, you should go through the Smart Home Design Guide, which can be found here. Let's dive right into a scenario. A client called us and asked for a job on their one-bedroom apartment. The client told us that they have a living room, a bedroom, and a bathroom in their home. They want smart light switches in all 3 rooms to control their lights. They want the lights in their living room and bathroom to turn on automatically when they walk in. On top of that, they want smart window shades in their living room, which they can set up to open and close on a schedule. Awesome. Our job is to turn these requirements into a Devicebook smart home design, install the devices in the client's home, and then use Devicebook to set up the devices so that the smart home comes to life. Let's get started. To start a new job in Devicebook, we go to My Jobs and click here. Then, we choose an existing client using the search box, or enter the information for a new client. For a new client, we enter their contact information and their address. Then, we choose the team member in our company who is assigned to this job. We'll choose ourselves. Here we can enter any notes about this job that we already have. In this case, the client already told us their requirements, so we'll enter them here. We've started a new job. Now, let's work on it. Here in the job detail page, we can see an overview of the job. This shows us the steps to complete the job. And this section here always describes what needs to be done before proceeding to the next step. Each job begins by creating a smart home design based on the client's requirements. Let's start designing by clicking here. We'll give this design a name and a description. Next, we define the layout of the home. Devicebook gives us a helpful starting point, but we can delete and add locations as we see fit. We'll remove locations until we're left with the ones we want, which are the living room, a bedroom, and a bathroom. We can also rename them however we want to. Then click Next when we're ready. The client has asked for both smart lighting and window shades in their home. This is the Devicebook Smart Home Designer. Devicebook has already set up the designer with the solutions and rooms that we selected. Now, we just need to fill in some blanks. One solution and one room at a time. Starting with the lighting solution in the living room, we click Add Devices. The client wanted to use switches, so we select that and click Next. Devicebook asks us which specific model of switch we want to use in this room. We'll select the one which will work and look best in the client's home. Enter the appropriate quantity based on the client's specific switch layout, and click Next. Then, Devicebook asks if we want motion-based lighting in this room. We can see the description of the feature here. If this feature is enabled in this room, lights in the room can turn on automatically when someone enters the room, and turn off when the room is empty. Our client did indeed request this feature for the living room, so we click Yes. Devicebook asks which specific model of motion sensor we want to use in order to detect motion in this room. Again, we pick the one which works and looks best in our client's home. Choose a quantity, and click Next. Finally, Devicebook asks if we want illuminance-based lighting in this room. If this feature is enabled in this room, the lights in the room can turn on if it gets too dark, and turn off when it gets bright again. The client did not request this, so we'll choose to skip it. The final page of this wizard is a summary of our choices. We click Next to apply the changes. And boom, the living room is ready. We can see the two switches we selected to control the lights, and the motion sensor we selected to detect motion. Now, we just need to do the same for the remaining rooms. And there it is. The lighting for the smart home is now fully designed. Now, let's design the window shades. The client only wanted smart window shades in their living room, so we select that room. Just like before, we add window shades by clicking Add Devices. We select the model and quantity of window shades for this room. There's no optional features available for the window shade solution, so Devicebook takes us straight to the summary page for our changes. We click Next, and boom, we're done! This design is now complete. When we're ready to review our entire design, we can click here to see the design summary. This page gives us an overview of each room in the home, the smart home solutions which are enabled in each room, and the devices that are used in each room. This all looks correct. Since our design is complete, let's go back to the job detail page to see what to do next. We can proceed to the next step when we've completed a design that's ready for the client to review. The next step is to get the client's verbal approval. We can do this in person, over the phone, or however else we want. We may need to make edits to the design before our client is ready to accept it. Remember that we can create multiple designs for this job, and we can even duplicate an existing design and modify the copy. When the client is happy with a particular design, we mark the design accepted by clicking the Approve Design button here. We're now ready to continue to the next step, so we click here. The third step is to generate the custom smart home app for our client's smart home. This smart home app is called a decontroller. This is a quick step. We just click this button, confirm, and Devicebook does the rest. And our decontroller is ready. It can be found in the Devicebook app. We can tap on this job, and there it is. This is the newly generated custom smart home app for our client's home, based on the design we just made. We can see lighting and window shades, and all the rooms and devices that we chose are in here. Note that nothing is set up yet. We're going to set up the smart home in the next few steps. Let's continue. We've generated the decontroller, so we can proceed to the next step. In this step, we need to visit the client's home and install all of the devices. For the purpose of this video, let's assume we're now on site at the client's home, and we've already installed all the devices. We've completed the installation step, so we'll proceed. The final step of the setup process is to link the devices to Devicebook to bring the smart home to life. Devicebook makes this a simple step-by-step process with a tool called HouseCheck. HouseCheck can be found in the decontroller generated for this client. HouseCheck is our tool for setting up this specific client's smart home. First, we'll set up the Devicebook hub. We can just follow the instructions on this page to set up the hub, and press back when we're done. Once the hub is online, we can set up all the devices in the home. For each device, Devicebook will walk us through connecting it to the right network, and making sure the right device is linked. As soon as the device is set up, it'll begin working with the smart home. Once we've set up all the devices, the smart home is ready for the client to use. This step is complete, so we can proceed. So far, we, the contractor, have had control of the smart home, that is, the decontroller and the devices. But now that we're done setting up the smart home, we're ready to turn over the keys to the client by transferring the smart home to their Devicebook account. An email has been sent to our client with instructions on how to download the Devicebook app and accept their brand new smart home. Once they accept, they take control of the smart home, and we can proceed to the final step. In this step, we walk through how to use the smart home with the client and help them to personalize it by renaming devices and connecting their smart home with Alexa or other voice assistants. Once we've gone over the smart home with the client, we can mark the job complete from here. That's it, the job is done. By the way, when your client wants to upgrade their smart home with new devices or features, you'll just start a new job the same way as you started the first one, from here. Thanks for watching. Remember that you can get help from the Devicebook Help Guide at any time. Or, if you require assistance, use the live chat feature to speak with a Devicebook representative. Thanks for using Devicebook to grow your smart home business.